This episode's a bit different, building a telescopic gate. Now this gate is going to go in front of the driveway, in front of the garage there, to allow 2 cars to come in and park. There is an existing quite large gate there at the moment, but it doesn't quite allow 2 cars to come in. So the idea is we're going to cut down the existing gate and build another gate to match. And like I say, it will be telescopic, so one will slide behind the other gate because we've only got a certain amount of room to park the gates. A car is about 1.8, 1.9 wide. When you bring a car in to get a second car in, it's impossible with the car parked tightly there. This bit we're going to cut back about 1.1 meters, about 2.6. Then we're going to have 2 gates this time. So the first one roughly about halfway. Second one obviously overlap a little bit. And these gates are both going to be about 2.5. That then gives me an opening of approximately 4.3. A car roughly 1.9 wide. I can then get 2 cars into the space. Both these gates, telescopic, they will come back on each other and fit basically into the same space. Now because I'm building this gate to match the existing one, I'm going to build the framework the same to match. So I've got 120mm by 60mm for the bottom of the gate, 60 by 60mm for the sides of the gate, and 100 by 60mm for the top of the gate. I'm going to cut these side pieces first. The existing gate is 2.1 meters high, so I've marked 2.1 less 3mm because I'm just going to cap the top of it off. Box section for the bottom horizontal of the gate. So the gate's going to be 2.5. I've taken off 60mm for each side, taken off a total of 120mm, so I've got 2.38 on there, and that's where I am going to cut. And this is the top section, which is 100mm by 60mm. I've just laid out all 4 sides on the ground just to make sure I'm not doing anything wrong or cut anything wrong length, etc. I think what I'm going to do first is fit the wheels to the bottom of the base, because it'll be much easier to do while I can still lift this piece of metal up, put it on the bench. At the centre of the wheel, I've got 150mm in from this edge. And that is where I'm going to drill. So I've just welded some nuts to some large washers, and the idea is I can try and weld these behind the holes there, so then I can just bolt the wheel straight to the bottom of the frame. Hopefully you can see in there I've welded the washer and nut to the inside. Just need to do that for the next 3. I've cut some end caps for these side steels, and I am just going to weld those on. That'll go at the top, but I'm just doing this now while the frame is still apart. It's going to make it much easier for me. That's the ends capped off. Not too bad after a quick go with a grinder. Once it has a thick coat of gate paint. That look good. I'm just going to clean up the edges now before I weld the frame all together. Got the frame laid out on the floor again, and I'm just trying to get it ready to weld up. I've been using my square on the corners and just checking the dimensions diagonally, and then also just been shimming up the edges because the floor isn't perfectly flat. So all the joints look pretty good to me now. Pretty level. And then if you can see that string line, just to check the whole thing's square and true, I've just run a string from each corner, and the idea is the strings should meet in the middle, and they're absolutely perfect. Quite pleased about that. So the frame should be pretty square, or as near as damn it. So I've got all the welding done on the frame, all ground off, looks pretty good. Quite pleased with that. Capped off there. I just picked up these bits of box section which are 40 by 20 mil. I have 3 of them, and they are going to support the timber infill. Yeah, I'm going to have one top, one bottom, one in the middle. Just going to cut those to length now and just weld them in. As per the instructions, I had to drill a 35mm hole there and the M8 bolt holes, and that is to accept these. At the top on this gate, I need to weld this bracket on. You'll see when the 2 gates go together, the runner of the other gate actually runs along there. Just welded that along there, that edge. We're going to try and get some of this hardware on the gate. The paint's pretty much dry now. Now, these bolt on either end, and there's a cable that runs between them. One of those brackets connects to the ground, and then the other bracket will connect to the other gate. So when one gate moves, it pushes the other one as well. This I need to put onto this bracket, tighten up these, and just cut the excess off. Pretty simple. It can be a bit slack now because I've got loads of adjustment to pull it taut. So I think that's kind of roughly about where I want it. Now I've got this one to the right length. That just sits up against there. And then on the other end, this one needs to screw up and tighten down there. Start doing these adjusters at either end, and that should then bring this cable taut. Well, that feels reasonably taut, and there's basically a big sort of metal bar thing on the other end, so I think it should all lock it all down. So on the instructions it says to wrap a bit of tape around this excess cable and then snip it off, but I'm just going to use a bit of heat shrink. I think that'll do a better job. Tape's likely to come off, so just going to put a bit of heat shrink on and snip it. Right, let's see if this works. So there I am sliding that on, and that is how this telescopic gate works. Although obviously one of them bracket gets bolted to the ground, so as the gate moves it pushes the other one. Just while I'm working at this end as well, and before standing the gate up, I can fit the wheels in there, and if you remember I've already welded the nuts in there, so it should be pretty straightforward. I'm just going to whack these rollers back on. They just bolt on like that. 4 of them. More than anything, just I don't want to lose the things and forget how it all goes back together. In case you're wondering what all these rollers are about, this C channel will bolt to the other gate, and then that runs down the rollers, and that's what holds the two gates together in the middle. This is the rail which needs to attach to gate number 2, and that bit I showed you before slides over the rollers on gate number 1. It only comes in 2 meter lengths or something. The gate's obviously 2.5 wide. I need to weld them together, and then these brackets are gonna weld to the top, and they will then get screwed to the gate through the holes there. That's the top piece done, brackets welded on all along. Next I've got this runner which the bottom of the gate rolls along. Again, it came in I think 3 meter lengths, but I need 4.8 meters, so I'm gonna have to weld 2 pieces together. I've chamfered the ends as I always do when I'm biting something up together, so I can grind it flat. There's still some weld left in there. I'm just 2 pieces like that, and I'm just gonna try and weld them together as straight as I can. I'm going to start fixing the wood onto the gates now. I've got 2 types of wood. I've got some sort of 100mm wide stuff, which is going to be the front of the gate, and I'm going to actually put in, I think it worked out 13mm gaps, and then I've got some thinner wood which will go at the back just to stop you looking straight through. It is treated timber already. I'm going to put just some extra treatment on there, especially where I've cut the wood to length, just to protect that. I've drilled 22 holes along 3 of these bars here, and next job is gonna fit these wood slats, if you like, into the gate there. There you see I've put spacers in all the way along. I'll fix the centre ones and then move the spacers to top and bottom and fix those as well, just so it maintains the same gap. I have fitted the smaller timbers directly behind the bigger ones to close it off, and from the front now, yeah, quite pleased with that. Along the bottom of the gate here I have taken the old toothed runner thing off the existing gate that's out there and bolted it to this new gate I've made. This is the gate which will connect to the electric motor and in turn will push the other gate on. I bought some new hardware and a lick of paint. The kit that I brought comes with these cover plates which bolt onto the gate like that. They stand off the gate to allow the mechanism to run freely. They have these stand-off things. Anyway, I have pre-drilled holes to accept those, and I am going to use riv nuts and my riv nut tool to fix those. Telescopic gate kit comes with these stops for the gates, but I'm not quite sure how you're supposed to fix those, bury them in the ground, etc., which I can't do. So I've made up these plates, drilled some holes, I'm going to weld the stops to the plates there, and I can drill and bolt them to the ground. I've got to film it, but here's the new gate post with a foot that I welded on, bolted to the ground, I'm getting ready to reinforce the end of the wall here, so there's some rebar which is resin fixed into the ground and some more reinforcing rod which basically runs all the way up the wall for the new concrete pier. I put some shuttering up a couple of days ago, and yesterday I filled this with concrete, so basically it will reinforce the end of the wall where I cut that section of wall off. So I'm just going to take the shuttering off now and see what it looks like. The electrical motor and cable is exactly in the way of where I need to fix my second gate runner. So next job is to disconnect that and move it out of the way. The existing one was an angle iron, where the new one is a curved one. So I've got those different wheels on the new gate. The next job is though to get rid of this ugly thing which is on the top of the existing gate. So here we have the first gate up on its rails down there, and I'm getting there. You can see the bracket which is bolted to the post. So the next job is to cut this gate down and basically make that match this one. So I think first of all I'm going to move this back in, which I think is aluminium. So got loads of little screws which I hope are all going to come out okay. That's what the gate looks like with no back in. That's the back in there, and I literally had to grind every single screw off because they would not come off with a screwdriver. I'm just going to mark on here roughly where to cut this. So I cut the end section off the gate there and just got it ready to weld back on, and then that gate will be 2.5 meters to match the one we made already. But I've just got my little Milwaukee. I'm just going to clean up the edges here so I can get a good weld. Just got that centre section cut out of the gate with just a lot of cleaning up to do. There we've got our 3 bars welded in. Not the prettiest of welds, but it will hold. Now it's got to give the frame a clean down and get some paint on it. Got this channel rail bolted on. I bolted it right through the frame, and that then connects the 2 gates together. And also I bolted this kind of angle which comes in the kit, and this then connects the cable to that gate as well, so they'll run as one. Coming around this end, that's the other end of the cable, the bracket which attaches to the cable, which I bolted to the ground. So that's resin bolted down. I'm just letting the resin go off. 2 gates have almost become one, and just really now the wood to do on that new gate. There we have the timber on the second gate, looking pretty good. I've still got to mount the electric box back there, and also this pillar up to there. That section of the wall is going to come out. Yeah, I've drawn a line on the wall there. I'm going to get my disc cutter out and run a line down there. We have Got our stop keep bracket there on that edge, bolted to the wall. Got our 2 stops bolted down. The big thing is we have the old electric box refitted, including these which tell the box when the gate's at its closed position or open position. That just flicks a switch on the electric box there, and that is it about complete. That's it, the gate is now finished. There's a bit of finishing off to do on the end wall there, but it is fully working and we're about to test it with this clicker. Thank you for watching this episode of Cobweb Garage. It's been a really enjoyable project, a bit of engineering involved, some welding involved, and hopefully making the thing look better overall. So yeah, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like us on Facebook and Instagram, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheers.